I sound now a bit like the attraction on the local market. Yeah, hello everybody. I hope everybody is well. Let's see if we have already some people in the chat room. I was playing some of the new presets, and there are in total 44, a bit more than I thought myself. In the FX, there's a nice one. This is a very classic computing sound. Oh, this one is also nice. It's this spaceship thing. So this is something for a sci-fi movie. Sounds also a bit like a Mustang somewhere in the distance. Okay, I'm checking here the chat room. Hello, everybody. Let's see if everything safe. Here I have a strange screen. Hopefully, cancel. Okay, I pressed the wrong button. So here, good evening. Nice soundscape. Camus. Yeah, Camus. That's the right word. Yeah, giveaway idea. We don't have that very often, I must say. We have, of course, a Black Friday in 2 weeks, but normally we do not. We have then normally only a bit of discount on the regular products. We have the, at least I have the idea that we have a fair price already. So we will have this Black Friday. We have some discount, but don't expect insane discounts. We have released this new version of Predator-3, an update. We had to fix a few little bugs. We had a bug with a audio peak thing going on in one of the presets from the original Predator 1, with the EQ went wrong. But that's now fixed. We added these additional features in the control menu. Some computers do have a little bit of problem with the 3D wave animations. You can put that off and on. You can put the oscillator wave animation on or off. So more things can be set off in case your computer doesn't like the graphic animation stuff. So let's play a few more presets. I also had this one. And I wanted today show you a few of the little special things inside Predator-3. It was in the Synth 2, which is a totally new bank. So the Synth Bank 1 is full now. We had last week, the MS-20 and SQ10 preset. With nice ratcheting. We had the with the modulation wheel. Made the sound totally different. Opened the high pass filter. That one we have. Then we have the plugs from last week. All are there. The only point is we are checking the taggings. So if you go here, set category, we give each preset a digital character of our analog character, which means that we save them again the preset. So the order by date currently is not working in the right way, because if you click now, you will see Synclavier, which is already an older preset. So the newer ones I wrote down in the document of the info section. So if you go to the download page in info section, you can see the list. I did mention them also on Facebook, the 44 presets, and I forgot 2 of them, which is this preset and this preset, which I still need to add down. So in this bank, the synth one, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new sounds. This flanger lead. and the stream bass, which was not inside of it yet. So yeah, and then we have Synth 2, a lot of new things. A very nice brass fusion lead sound for fusion, something for Tom Aldrich. Bit trumpet alike, so they use the different filter. It uses the Type 2 filter. This so ratcheting. Another sequence. Very dry ARP. And of course, if you don't like the arpeggiator, you always can change it here. Maybe this is cooler. Another one. Another one. That's more polyphonic synth sound. Kind of synth pad type. Nice bandpass sweep. And this one uses split 1, and that's one of these special things. This came over essentially from Predator-1. The split mode 1 means that filter 1 and filter 2 share the same filter type, and all of the settings except for the cutoff frequency. And then you see in filter 2 is a stereo spread, which makes that filter 1 goes to the left and filter 2 goes to the right. And if you have a little difference between these two cutoff frequencies, you have a very nice stereo sound. So this is on the right-hand side, and this filter on the left-hand side. So if you keep them a little bit different, makes it very special, very different in the stereo. So there's a stereo spread amount, which makes that it now it's mono. If it goes left, right, that's the split 1. So that one came over from the original Predator-1, and we kept it in, of course, because of the preset. But there's also a nice feature to make stereo sounds. Of course, yeah, we have more options. You also can go to the play mode and use the unison and spread the unison in the stereo. That's also an option. And then we have the split 2, which if you go down here, you can see what happens. Split 2 means that oscillator 1 goes into filter 1. Oscillator 2 and 3 go into filter 2. And this is, let me see how we call this. That's a good one. So let's go back to split 1. Split 2. You see changes here. Okay, now I need to think myself. It's in the oscillators. That goes to filter 1. That one goes to filter 2. To the left, right, pant. And oscillator 3 goes to both. Yeah, you need to see it here, but you need to... So oscillator in split 2, oscillator 3 goes to both filters, so it's essentially mono. And oscillator 1 goes only to filter 1. And oscillator 2 only to filter 2. But they both share again this split mode. So the filter 2 has the same filter type as filter 1. But if you change then the cutoff frequency, you got the stereo thing. Yeah, then I have split 3, which is essentially oscillator 1 and 2 go into filter 2, and oscillator 3 goes in filter 2. So you can have a kind of layer thing. Okay, yeah, synclavier 2, that's a variation. Using a different table. And this one is nice because it has a very different start. Very slow. Here, of course, you see it uses the morphing feature in oscillator 1. It's just one oscillator playing, so not always necessary to have all oscillators playing. I think in the modulation matrix, there's nothing. Yeah, it's only the XY which is doing the morphing. There's a mellow prophet sound. Yeah, that's more traditional prophet sound. Yeah, and then we had this one, and this I had in the start of the live stream. So I had this beat going on. So I start now, and you see the arpeggiator. Okay, let's click the arpeggiator. But it's not arpeggiator in the classic way, because if you go to the play mode, you can see it's polyphonic. So the arpeggiator is used, but not as an arpeggiator, but as a modulator. And you can see here in the mode, it's modulation mode. And when I go to the modulation matrix, you can see that the ARP velocity is used to control filter 1, filter 2, and the free row is used for controlling the oscillator 3 panning. So listen to it. I open now the filter. So you see the arpeggiator is far more than an arpeggiator. And the cool thing is that if I press play, because if I go to the start of a bar, so here you can see that I cycle between bar 13 and 21. But it's of course for the start point of this modulation, and using the ARP as a modulation, you need to have a straight start point. So if I hit now play, you will see that the walking lad starts again on 1. Watch it. I hit play now. Yeah, now it starts again at 1, and then it sings. Of course, I need to play on the right beat. So essentially, let's play it a bit softer. I simply play chords, so that's still possible. And of course I use it now on a filter, but I also could say if the free row, I could use, you see here the free row is doing particular things. I could say, okay, use the free row, not on the oscillator pan, but on the oscillator 1, the morphing. So here I would put down a different waveform. I put something here. I just take something random. Of course, I need to put on the morphing. Now, if I bypass here, you have to bypass. So the ARP free row, bypass now. Oh, the filter is still working. Okay, I need to shut that down, of course. the velocity. Okay, now you hear changes. Let's do another way filter because this one is too much. Okay, now I go back to the ARP. So the free row here. I think I put off the animation. No? Yeah, it's on. Only it doesn't show it. So it should show here in the morphing, but something we need to fix in the next version. So now the free row controls the morphing, which is changed here. Okay, maybe I should put off this one. And of course, it's just a matter of looking for some. If you combine it together with what we already had. Now I go back and put on the filter. So this is without the modulation. Static waveform. The free row controls now the waveform morphing. ARP free row, oscillator 1 morph. And I put on the other ones. We can go even more complex than what I did. The ARP mod Anna is more on an analog style. And if I'm not wrong, maybe tuning also should work, but I'm not sure about that one. No, purely modulation. Yeah, and here you can check out which waveforms are interesting. Now we have far more complexer sound. I will make more a detailed sound and put that in the example bank, which is also here. Example bank, I want to expand on that section. So going back to the original preset, which more now it really morphs. But the original preset was using more analog style sound. So that's also what you can do with the arpeggiator in this mode, this mod mode. So you have up, down, and ordered, and chord mode, but modulation. That's the mod mode. So you not only have envelopes, LFOs, and the XY, but also the ARP to use that one as a modulator. So let me see if you can follow me. Yeah. Yeah. You can follow me? Good. I'll make some more sounds like that. Okay, let's go. What we had also, Woody lead. Oh no, that's just a classic. Oh, this one is nice. One finger sequence. No, I played that one already. The ambient bank. We were not in the ambient bank yet. So we had there chill to me sequence. I think that's a nice one because here I think the XY is not used. No. Let me see what it's modulating. Nothing special. Oh, oscillator 1, that one. So what we also will have in a future update is a little dot inside. So now you see you have multiple pages down here, but you don't know if something is addressed, because if you see the free envelope, you can, it's no destination, so it's not used. And what we will have then is a little dot inside of it, which display that something is going on. So if I would go back now to the free LFO1, you see it has the oscillator 1 morph. And this is a nice page rate sound, very, the tempo, I should be a little bit slower, but it's really spacey. There's not for this tempo is too high. I think these I played also last week. It's more harp-like, or this soft percussion. Or what we had also here. Yeah, this rimba sound. That makes, of course, this one is cool. Tempo is too high. So there always happens something in the modulation wheel. So when I open the modulation wheel, the whole growth changes. So really the arpeggiator is a very cool thing. Yeah, we had the 2-minute pads and the 1-minute pad. Very nice pad sound. Of course, analog style, but there was more. Let me see. Need to go. Morning fog synth. Yeah, that one. So now the XY, you see, has a movement, so it's playing this movement. If you press edit, it also means that it becomes visual, and that's saved within the preset. So, but then you can change the dots here. Now the XY, you can see, has the panning and the oscillator morph, so you really hear the different waveform. Changes slightly the waveform and the panning of it. You see it displays it here. Now the cool thing, and this is one of the, so it's about the some of the little hidden things inside Predator-3 you might not think about, is, for instance, this command function here, where you can see create XY preset, create a spiral out, and then you can choose 4 times, 8 times, whatever you want. And these are the destinations for the X and the Y, but also you can loop mode, so you see loops bidirectional, so it goes back and forth. If you look well to the dot, it goes starts, now it starts, it goes to the end, and then it goes back again. So this is bidirectional looping. You can change the amount of dots. If you think, okay, I only want to have 4 dots, okay, then you have only 4 dots. if you want to have more simple movements. Sometimes 2 dots is even good enough. Then you can say space quantize. Then the dots grab to a space, makes it easier to move things, but also you can have it time quantized. Then it really starts to chop it. The movement gets choppy, so of course I need to have them more points. A number of points, I would take 60. Yeah, now it chops it, time quantized. Now you see multiple dots, which means that the XY is in poly mode. Each voice starts its own movement. So I play now a C, starts the movement. Second note is a G, and that starts also its own movement. And you see, you can do some very complex things. And of course, you can address to more things, or I could say filters, pick the filter color frequency. So the XY has endless modulation options, very interesting. Maybe I should save this one so that you can download. Would that be an idea? Let me see what the chat room says. Hey, the stream should be full HD. That's weird. And of course, that becomes a little bit blurry here. Yeah, that's maybe afterward it becomes higher resolution. Yeah, somebody's this VST. I think he uses Fruity Loops. It's a very strange thing with Fruity Loops. I think he debugged with VST3. We are still looking into it because we have it also with other products. So now I mentioned this bug, the empty margins. It's a very strange thing. We still need to look into this. But I'm definitely sure that it's all related to the host you're using, because this doesn't pop up, for instance, in Cubase. So we need still to find out what is causing it. Okay, but first, save preset as Morning Fog Synth. Morning Fogged Fog. Moved. I call it moved. Okay, guys. And then you see in the tagging, I also do then tempo syncs, but also XY synchronized. So I'll make this one downloadable. Now, the loop mode, you also can say, okay, I don't want to have a loop, only one movement. Then it stops after doing its whole thing. And it synchronizes to 2 bars. See here, I can make it also 1 bar. And then still you have the option to speed it up here or use the pitch bend. So let's make it again a loop. Cubase Studio One. Is it Studio One? Because Cubase doesn't appear here. Yeah, I know from Fruity Loops, so Studio One has it. I can try it out tomorrow with Studio One if the problem with the bigger screen version appears. It's a very odd thing. So the XY, polymode, number of points, quantize, the smoothing is there, although I don't use it that much because it slows down in some way. So that's a very cool feature inside Predator-3. We have, of course, the modulation, but with the XY, you can draw your own modulation. Okay. Now, let's go back. What we had more in the ambient bank. So, yeah, another thing which we have in this update, which is better, if you say find preset, then it's much better now. You type pad, you click find, then it shows the current bank a bit lighter, which is the ambient bank and where all the presets are. And you can go to the Jumal bank and find there also other presets. Or here. And the same with search category. If you pick here brass, you see it shows all the brass sounds. It's a nice horn sound. It's not a sample. Okay. Oh, yeah, of course. Percussion. Oh, that's described as percussion, or the funny percussion. So that's the search category where you can say, I like to have a lead sound. And then you see on the right-hand side all the banks which has lead sounds in various types of sounds. Of course, you can go up. You see there's a lot of the presets which have lead sounds. So that's improved. So this is version A, 00A. And you can see that on the back panel. It's up here, Predator-3, 64-bit PC version 0118. That's the latest version. So if you have Predator-3, log in, download the latest version, close your music program, and run the installer to have the latest fixes. The 120% size version, which is nice for full HD. It makes it a little bit bigger so that you see a bit more of Predator-3 in your full HD screen. It has these new presets, some bug fixes, the additional features here where you can shut down the 3D animation if that is too much of a strain. Yes, and going back here, what is the other news I can mention is, of course, we work on NKS compatibility, which is for people who have the complete control like this one, or machine, and then it appears in the browser of the NKS system. But that takes a little bit more time because we need to check all the presets. You see, we have many presets. So, for instance, in this Ian body bank, you have 64 very nice presets, but we set the category if it was an analog type of sound or digital type of sound. So that makes a lot of work for us. Then we convert this, and then we have everything sorted for NKS. Then Native Instrument will check it out if we did everything according to the specs they mentioned, and then we will release the NKS version of Predator-3. So, by the way, this is the Ian Body Bank, which is a very nice bank with very special sound effects. some very nice sounds inside this. And this is from the original Predator-1, because every bank that starts with number 1 is the original Predator-1. But because we overworked the sound engine and the reverb is much better than the first Predator, it's really a much better in sound. This one uses the modulator. So you can have hours fun inside the presets. We have also from very extreme hard dance material. Clank medium downbeat is very nice with all kind of arpeggiator sounds. I'm just playing a few. So they are more in down, and up here, everything that starts with 00 is the current Predator-2 and Predator-3. And if you have your own Predator-2 presets, you simply can drag and drop them in this folder. So give me 1 second. If I go here, it's maybe nice to mention if you have your own presets. Then you go in Applications on your Mac or PC, Documents, the bank folder. Here you can see the bank folder of Predator-3. And inside here you can drag and drop it. And then of course you need to reload your song, but then your own sounds will appear. You see here I have my own folder, 098 Rob, with my own presets, and I simply drag them over. So it's not the case that you have to convert the presets. Or you can say simply load them in here by using load preset, and then you go to your other Predator-2 bank folder and load them from there. And then you save it somewhere in the different spot. But most fast, if you have your own folder of Predator-2, simply copy over this folder using Documents on PC or Application folder, where you find the Predator-3 and Predator-2. For Predator-1 presets, there still you need to convert, that you see here, convert Predator-1 bank or Predator-1 presets. But of course, we did all the factory patches are from Predator-1 are inside of it. Even the older introduction bank, except for the vocoder presets, which were also inside of it, I believe. So yeah, plenty of presets. So that also makes that we have quite some work in making it NKS compatible. In the trance bank we had some sounds, but I think this is nice because you have the second filter, notch filter. Zzz, hear that in the sound? That's cool to have a second filter for adding a notch filter behind it. And still you have a high pass filter if you think, okay, there's too much low end. You can do it this way. And there was this other one's modulation wheel to advanced sequencer. That's the other thing, which is a very nice thing inside Predator-3, which also was inside Predator-2, was the advanced modes. If you go to the modulation matrix, you can see you can have a lower threshold. So if I play this preset, and I open the modulation wheel, opens the high pass filter. So you see here, modulation wheel does multiple things. It opens the high pass filter with a given amount. And then it also opens the cutoff, the resonance. But the resonance is opened once it hits the 79% lower threshold. So the modulation wheel needs to be at least 79% open to have the resonance going open, the high pass resonance. Then it controls the mix and the feedback go open, but these don't have a threshold. So you have far more modulation variations here as well, so that you could say, hey, the modulation wheel or pitch band or any other, for instance, the slider here you could use, you can have different stages of changing the sound. So here that's called the advanced mode. Of course, most presets are using the normal mode. Let's see to this one. This is a classic. Oh, amp volume. Yeah. There's a bit more trancy sound. So that's what we always, at least with my presets, let's say 99% of the time, the modulation wheel does change the sound, does something interesting. Depends also on the type of sound. Modulation wheel is, of course, also for doing vibrato things. Okay, I'm just checking here. Maybe I missed something. Okay, calling Berlin sequence. I think that one I already had. Okay, so let's see what the chat room has to say. So in special things, we discussed already the arpeggiator, that it also has this modulation mode. The XY, I showed that a little bit more in detail what it can do. I showed you the mod matrix, and you see here it has the basic mode, which is nothing addressed. But in the advanced mode, you get the additional features so that you give it a lower threshold. Then, of course, we have the, which is also in the introduction video, the audio follower inside Predator-3, which you also hear in this short introduction song. The multi-envelopes, I need to talk about them, of course, very soon, explain them. But now today I wanted to focus on these little interesting things which are often overlooked, just like the routing with the split 1, split 2, and split 3 mode, how that worked. And split 3, I think that's one preset which shows it very clear. I think it's this Paris pad. Let me see if I find it. Pads to Paris, I think that one uses this. Yeah, here you see split 3, oscillator 1 and 2. They have this. The pad sound. And then oscillator 3, so you see, oscillator 3 goes into filter 2. And has also different filter type, bandpass, its own filter envelope. Now, and together, you get this whole sound. So essentially, inside Predator-3, this way, by splitting the filters and the routing of the oscillators, you already have a kind of layers in. And you see how much it is important in a sound that things combine together very well, or need to combine together. So this sound separate, not really that interesting, but combined with the pad, which gives the body, it's an interesting patch. Then we had a few people, which I think maybe we could do this in a bit with ratcheting. They said, "Oh, ratcheting doesn't work," and of course it does work. But let me see if there is a. No, that one doesn't. No, oh, calling Berlin, yeah. So they put on here the ratcheting, but they forgot to put it on here. And I think if it's off, then you think, okay, let's put some ratcheting here. And you added A or B, or in this case it's on B. Then it doesn't seem to work, but you need to put it on here. Because we have some additional features here, so that you can say respond to velocity. So if I play now soft, and it'll play harder, then it plays the ratcheting. So maybe in an update, what we could do, maybe if nothing is active here, that we make it show here as a kind of blanking thing, so that people notice, okay, ratcheting, why is there something popping up? But that's the reason, is that we have multiple types of ratcheting. So you also can say on, off, cycle, to, off, yeah. So ratcheting is very sophisticated and has far more option than the regular ratcheting. And that's of course also the fun part, what I love to do together with John, to add something additional to our products, which you not easily will find in other products. So this off-on cycle of ratcheting, or 2 times off, or 1 times on. So if you only would have one ARPs of sequence play, so now it's on, and it keeps on playing, and you can say here, off, on cycle. So first off, now it plays. I think maybe we can do something with the letters going a little bit darker and then pop up to show that it is an interactive thing. So that's things we still can do in Predator-3, updating small details. So yeah, and then we have, for instance, 2 times off and 1 on cycle, of 3 times off and 1 on cycle. So that would play 3 times off, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4 times. Now comes. Yeah, so and then the velocity is cool. Yeah, keep in mind that velocity, it's this way that this style here, and I show that more, that's another very clever thing inside our products. Velocity is fully on the left, means that the velocity of the sequencer rules. So this setting rules. If you go with this dial to key, it says that the keyboard, if I play soft or hard, that the keyboard does the whole thing, which means that these settings here are essentially ignored, or you should mix in between. So you can even mix between the settings from here and your keyboard input. And maybe you think, why should I have here velocity on keyboard? Well, let me show you that you can do some very interesting things with that in the trans and psytrance. Let me see if I have very fast a good sound for. Yeah, here it uses keyboard. Maybe make it a bit darker. So now the velocity of what I'm playing is setting the additional things. So if I have velocity here to the left, it's the sequencer. Very important parameter. But as mentioned in the we need to create far more tutorials about Predator-3. I start tomorrow with finishing the Bank Manager tutorial, and then step by step I will make some videos about key features inside each of the things. Oh boy, time flies, isn't it? Yeah, we have so many cool presets, and I think not everything will be each cup of tea for everybody, but that's why we have this star feature, and that you can put things in your own favorites folder. You can make your own collection. Yeah, we need that's a color thing. Yeah, I think with the arpeggiator, with ratcheting, you see here if you have ARP AB, you see that the color is a bit slight darker because now the ARP B is playing. Or ARP A, B, now B. So B is in edit mode, you see little B. And if ARP A plays, you see the letters a bit darker. So there we already have some things that show that something is going on. So the play mode is A, B. So first it plays A, then it plays B. And here is what you added. And you see very dark is the other letters because they are not active. If you go to pattern, the letter P appears, and then you can press the letter P for pattern mode, and then you can have this here. Very sophisticated arpeggiator, and of course you can MIDI out this arpeggiator. So yeah, guys. So yeah, what we had today, I showed a few things about the arpeggiator, the XY. Yeah, there's much more to show, but that will be for next time. And of course, I want to do far more videos because somebody also asked for a special video about the preset morphing, intelligent variation. We have the play mode with some cool features, also features which you maybe not should touch that much. The decay, release, shape, for instance, that's not something you always have to change. And so that's things which I need to explain. So the release of Predator-3, this update was yesterday, and in case you already purchased Predator-3 earlier, log in, download the latest version, and then you will have some bug fixes, some new presets, and the different type of, how you say that? The different type of user interface, the 120% version, which is nice for the, okay, which is nice for the full HD screens. So, okay, let's chat in the chat room. Yeah, so closing out, we go with something cool from Tom Aldrich. And Tom is in the chat room. Tom, maybe you can mention what you used in your demo song because it sounds great. I already added it to the Tom Aldrich page on our homepage. If you, it's very cool demo. Let me see. Okay, so if you go here to the home page and then you get artists, then you see TA Funk Demos. And the second one is called Symyrna. Very difficult title for me. Makes me stumble over another title. I mean, Ratcheting. I'm happy to pronounce Ratcheting now in one flow. Symyrna. Very cool. It's the second one. My all-time favorite is, of course, Ocean Track, but this one is very cool. So it's you can listen it back also on this dedicated TA Funk Demos section on the home page. You find it up here in the artist. There you will find it. Okay, so let's play it. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Next week I will be back. And hopefully we have then a bit more a bit more videos you can watch, more tutorials. And see, my head is already calculating. So we go out with Tom Aldrich. And thanks for sending it in, Tom, again.